Now we're
Wow.
live. Yep, music. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, that ended early.
No, that's when that one ends.
Oh,
We'll get there.
we will get there eventually.
Look, there's people who've been waiting patiently
Hey.
and impatiently for us to start talking to them. So thanks for finding the Geek Spot, everybody. We already got Dom, Charles hanging out, waiting for us. I was having some fun internet issues. It's a little windy and stormy here
It is.
in the in our little space that we live in. So it's knocked out some power. I thought it knocked out internet. It took forever to get back. I was
BIOS does
patiently
that.
trying to get it to kick back in so I could finish Beast Wars before we started, and I did not manage to finish it. So
I was going to finish. Right.
yeah, you watched the thing. It's fine.
Watched a couple of things.
I can't
actually.
wait to hear about all the things that you've watched.
Did you see the big snowstorm we were supposed to get that now we're not getting? Apparently, it shifted south.
I did. I kept hearing yesterday about the 12 inches, 15 inches, 20 inches, and then I looked this morning and I was like, it says a half an inch. What is going on?
Yeah, it apparently shifted south.
Great. I love it.
And now we're getting nothing. So that's depressing.
No, that's fine.
No, I want all the snow.
No, because kids here have off school Monday and Tuesday already.
That doesn't.
So I do not need them off more days.
That doesn't
They
affect
already had-
me in any way.
It's fair.
So all the snow, please.
No more snow. So yeah, so what have you been up to, man, without the snow happening?
So before we start, we're just going to let everybody know we're not talking about Captain America. Jack's not seeing it till tomorrow. We'll do a quick little show like on Wednesday just to kind of recap Cap. Get it? So please don't put spoilers in the chat unless Jack has lifted his embargo on spoilers. But
I didn't have an embargo because I really could care less about this movie. But I'm gonna pretend that I'm interested and go see it tomorrow morning.
Okay. Now back to what did you ask? I'm sorry.
It's been a minute. So what have you been up to?
The Monday night hockey game continues again with another one tomorrow night as well. So I get enough games in so I can play the playoffs.
Got it.
Otherwise, it's just, work. I'm actually catching up on some older TV shows that I've been meaning to watch. I'm right at the beginning of Battlestar Galactica again.
Oh, you're probably up to like season 7 of Supernatural, only 8 seasons ago. It's great.
Oh, no, Battlestar Galactica. Different show.
Like
no,
the original one?
I caught up on Mythic Quest current all the way. So when I thought I was behind a little bit, I actually had just finished season 1 and had not even started season 2 or the pandemic episode. So I had it was a fast moving show. Like it really caught me in a good spot and I rolled with it.
Yeah, it's nice and quick, and you didn't have to wait like I keep having to when I'm trying to finally finish this other damn show, workplace comedy, that I've been watching. That I'm like, all right, I got to stop because I can't talk about 22 episodes. So let me watch 5, and then I'll pause. That one too.
Can't wait to talk about this and our differing views.
Yeah, that's Cobra Kai for the audio.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We will get there. I
don't have a ton of news. So what about you? You have way more stuff that you're watching than I do.
Yeah, look, I've watched a lot of stuff. And this week I watched a lot of Young Frankenstein. It's the local the local show for my kid, our first show of the season. From a musical standpoint, so that was all just finished up. It's a great show, couple of great casts they had, fantastic performances, great turnout. So proud of all of them and all the work they put in for running that. Who knew for Young Frankenstein had a musical? I did not. Nope. It is also like the dirtiest, raunchiest musical you've ever seen. Like Wild. I was like, oh, all right. They had to clean it up and take some really suggestive things out of some of the lyrics to pass it for high school. So they did that, and we made it through. Speaking of that kid, he's the one I've been watching Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with. So the two of us are going to do a one-off episode after this week's finale because for whatever reason, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has decided to drop all 12 episodes or 10 or whatever it is in the span of 4 weeks.
Nice.
They did 3 or what was it? 2, 3, 3, and 2 was their episode drop schedule.
Yeah, that's a weird drop.
Yeah, I feel like they wanted to get it out before Daredevil.
Makes sense.
But I don't know why they were on such a mission to get it to release the way they did. Because I'll talk about it on there, but I still don't know who the audience is for that. So we'll talk through where we got on that because I know we didn't really get to hit it on here. So I think my son and I will have very differing thoughts on that show with 40 some odd years experience with Spider-Man and history to think of and him with like 2.
Yeah.
So
I can safely say that I have tapped out on that show and Invincible's really I'm trying. It's just not getting me.
Yeah, look, Invincible it can be tough. It's when it's good, it's really good, and when it's not good, it's a slog. And season 2 has some.
Oh, I'm all the way back at Mark just went to college.
Yeah, the tough part with season 2, and I want to say it's episode 3 of season 2. The post credits is longer than the show.
Jesus.
Like it's like a 50-minute episode, and like 20 minutes is the show, and there's a 30-minute post credit scene, which is great. If you're into it.
I'll give it a shot. I am out on comedic shows at the moment. I have I have Severance sitting there. I have Silo sitting. I have so much sitting there.
Yeah.
And I know there's new stuff that's coming soon, so we'll see where we get. We'll see where
it has been a busy couple weeks for shows to drop.
Yes.
Like Invincible, just because it'll be a while till we get there as a team. I'm enjoying season 3 so far. I think it's good. You get to see this split occur in the Invincible world between the teams, and some of them are calling back to when everything started and before the show series even started with the characters, and then we're getting other ones that they're moving forward and looking into the future and some evolution of some of them. That's all been really well done. I've been enjoying that so far though. Severance is back. Yellow Jackets is back.
I saw that.
They dropped 2 episodes yesterday for I don't even know what day it is anymore. Friday for Yellow Jackets. 2 of the weaker episodes of the series, in my opinion. They're kind of I know they're going somewhere this season, but they are in a weird like free fall kind of just out there space right now. So not a clear direction for where we're going, but like I hope they didn't get too deep into their own mythos that they can't crawl back out and actually make the show make sense again. And then Harley Quinn had a blast of an episode this week.
Oh.
I'm telling that should be your comedy to tap back in on, by the way.
It could be.
So you need a comedy, so I would go Harley Quinn for your comedy. It just continues to be super fun writing. This week was because they're upper society sort of in Metropolis right now, and it's still a Harley Quinn show, so they still need Batman. You get Bruce and Damian hanging out and throwing a party that Ivy and Harley Quinn are invited to, and Lois Lane's there, and all sorts of other stuff, and Alfred's goes a little nuts and takes some Bane formula, but it's super fun.
Did you say Lois Lane? I think you said Lois.
I did say Lois Lane. I was thinking Louis Litt because Suits is coming back soon, so I was split.
Right.
But yeah, super. Yeah, I still look forward to that every week and postpone watching other things.
Don't mind me. I'm trying to set something up to record real fast that has to do with one of my lists that is coming on at 7:00.
Oh, good.
8:00.
Yeah, we will not be hitting Oscars news because I think between the two of us, we saw one movie that's nominated, and it's Inside Out 2. So I think the only nominated movie that either one of us saw. So we're gonna not talk about the Oscars this week or probably next week because I won't have thoughts on it.
Well, maybe we'd throw out the best actor, best actress, best movie, but I don't think it actually pertains to us. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
like I said, I didn't even see Wicked yet, and I think it's not they
right.
poorly made the decision to not drop it till after the Oscars on streaming. So,
Oh, that's weird.
well, on free streaming.
Oh,
Well, free.
all right. I have 2 good lists.
Okay.
One of them actually has to do with something going on tonight. One of them has to do with something that's actually in our wheelhouse. 10 heroic sacrifices in comic book movies and TV shows that did not need to happen. This should be a phenomenal list. I don't break
Okay.
out phenomenal often anymore.
No.
Often enough, anyway. Okay. Number 10. Jean Grey lifts the Blackbird from the outside, X2 X-Men United. Did that
Okay.
sacrifice have to happen, or was it an unnecessary sacrifice?
In X2 for Jean Grey?
Yeah, when she dies before the whole Phoenix thing, remember?
Yeah, no, I don't remember that from X2 because I just remember she was in. Wasn't she the Phoenix in Last Stand, or was that X2?
No, X2 is the one where they went to Alkali Lake.
Alkali.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh,
Alkali Lake.
yeah. X2 is not my favorite of those.
No,
It has not been on my rewatch list ever.
but like, is there any reason she couldn't have lifted the Blackbird from inside the Blackbird with everyone? Like, did she have to stand outside and get swallowed up by the water to do it? Like, just
No, but they've made some weird things with her forever where she doesn't lift herself with things,
right,
because of the strain or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Number 9,
Yeah.
Quicksilver runs in front of the bullets, Avengers Age of Ultron. Is there any reason that he couldn't have just grabbed Hawkeye and the child and moved them? Did he have to stop in front of the bullets?
No.
Not
That was our look. Our deal with Fox is we get Scarlet Witch, they get Quicksilver. Got it. Cool.
Right. And like Dom said, necessary for the plot. Both of these also. Number 8, Superman uses a kryptonite spear to kill Doomsday in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, thereby also killing himself.
Yeah, given Doomsday's history, yes, because they did change the methodology of his creation, because
Right.
and
Well,
then they stuck with it for Superman and Lois, which was weird.
Well, yeah, so that supposedly that was not Doomsday's final form in that universe. They would have gotten to the real Doomsday, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I not well, it was necessary based on the way that
Right.
the story had been written, and Zack Snyder needing Superman to constantly kill people.
This next one is, I understood this one. I actually thought it added to the movie. Batman takes the blame for Harvey Dent's crimes in Dark Knight. I get it. I understood why in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know that we got enough of their relationship to make it worthwhile, though, right?
No, but overall, the overall of it, that one makes.
Yeah, that one's the first like fully permissible one on the list.
Yeah. Number 6, Yondu gives up his spacesuit for Quill, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Don't remember why. That was so long ago.
Yeah, I remember Mary Poppins, y'all, but I don't remember the spacesuit part, and I don't know why Quill would need a spacesuit because he's a god,
right?
But we ignore that when the plot doesn't. Again, look, as Dom mentioned, right, with necessary for the plot, like.
Yeah.
All of these things are like, no, you could have definitely written another way around that, but we needed to make somebody have a sacrifice to move the story along.
Which means number 5 makes the same sense. Groot makes a wooden shield to protect his team from a crashing spaceship, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and that, burns him out.
Beautiful, wonderful moment. Very touching. Kind of unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah, but it gives you baby Groot.
Right.
Sells
more toys.
Yep.
Number 4, and I understood the reasoning for this one, but it's a very, very controversial moment in comic books. In Man of Steel, Jonathan Kent refuses to let Clark save him.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
It was dumb, but I get what they were trying to do, but it was really dumb.
Yeah, they were trying to make Superman an asshole.
Well,
and they succeeded because then he's killing people at the end of the movie. Like it ruins the whole premise of Superman being like a Boy Scout,
but
and like having that philosophy, right, of save everybody.
In the same vein, as I understood it, he also moves faster than people could see. He could have gone, got him, and been back before anybody knew what the hell went happen.
100%.
Right. Maybe
Awful.
Kevin Costner only had a contract for that one movie, and that was.
Well, he had to get to Yellowstone. He had a ranch to buy, horses to ride.
Number 3, Lilia sacrifices herself on the Witch's Road in Agatha All Along.
Yeah.
It worked for the story. I mean, did it make sense?
Well, it was right. Hold on.
Yeah.
That was Patti LuPone, right?
Yeah, that was the self-fulfilling prophecy, basically.
Yeah, so I mean that made sense because that tied into. I mean, Patti LuPone doesn't know she's dead yet. She wants to do more episodes. If you've read interviews with her, she's like, "Yeah, I should come back." But yeah, no, I thought that was actually well done and poignant and brought that character full circle.
As Don says, yet this is the Superman Snyder stands 1. I didn't hate him. I just hate how he was written. Number 2, Wanda destroys Vision's Mind Stone too late in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, that one didn't. That whole sequence was so poorly, like timing wise, was just to get us to where we got to. Right, like didn't make sense.
Oh, okay. Marvel fans, number 1 on the heroic sacrifice that didn't need to happen. Captain America crashes the plane in First Avenger. It still really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why he didn't just jump out of the plane.
Well, they did the story bad in that. Like they missed some of the key plot points from the comic.
Right.
It was like they needed it to mirror the comics. He does jump out in the comics, and he's in the Arctic and just gets frozen when he hits the water.
Okay, that would have made sense.
Like, but they kept him in the plane, which they didn't need to do.
They kept or he could have just flown the plane around in a circle a little bit, right? And waited for another alternative. Like, I don't know. It just
you needed to get him in the water and get him frozen.
Tony's sacrifice was necessary, though. Dom said he thought number 1 was going to be Tony's sacrifice.
I mean, it totally wasn't. You give Captain Marvel the gauntlet, and she's fine.
Yeah, but nobody likes her.
Or Quill, because again, God.
Oh, God. But Quill had his balls hurt, so he couldn't.
Right.
And okay, so the other one, real fast. We'll zip through this one real fast. Tonight is the 50th anniversary show of Saturday Night Live. Not airing on Saturday night, airing Sunday night at 8 p.m. I've been watching the Saturday Night Live musical, 50 years of the musical thing. It's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
This is
apparently it took Questlove a year to do the first opening montage of that.
That's a long time.
Yes.
All right. 10 best Saturday Night Live guest hosts of all time. We can kind of go through this. Number 10, Nate Bargatze.
No.
He was pretty good.
He's just current, though, but he's not.
Right.
Not in top 10 of all time.
Fair. Emma Stone. Guest hosted in 2010, 11, 16, 19, and 23.
This isn't specific appearances. This is just host period.
This is, yeah.
Okay.
The best Saturday Night Live host of all times, according to.
All right. I will allow Emma Stone so far.
Okay. Number 8, Christopher Walken. Guest hosted in 90, 92, 96, 2000, 01, 03, and 08.
Yeah, Walken was great every time. Look, and he's got the cowbell scene.
Yep. Which they did a whole episode on in the 50 years of Saturday Night Live 4-episode documentary. Number 7, Adam Driver. Guest hosted in 16, 18, 20, and 23.
His were good, but they weren't great. I mean, his Kylo Ren one is hilarious.
The
undercover boss.
Yeah, that one's really good. Better than the last Star Wars movie, even.
100%. I mean, look, I've got 4 on my list that if they're not on this list, this whole list is trash. So
according to this article, Adam Driver has stated that he is done with the role of Kylo Ren, which means the character's final appearance, played by Driver, might be that short skit on Saturday Night Live.
It's good enough. The character was trash.
Yeah. Number 6, Candice Bergen. Yes, hosted in 75, 75, 76, 87, and 90.
Hers were okay. They weren't phenomenal.
Yeah. A lot of people might not know who she is.
Murphy Brown, for those of you that don't know, which was redone about 8-9 years ago as a show in the 80s and early 90s. And then Hey T.
Number 5, John Mulaney. Guest hosted in 18, 19, 20, 20, 22, and 24. He did 2020.
Liked him better as a writer on the show than a guest host, but I'll take it.
And he gets points for being with Olivia Munn.
I mean, look, his Stefan writing was, oh my God.
It was great. That's the one where Will Ferrell comes out with the teeny tiny little phone.
No, it's Bill Hader.
Oh,
every time he would go and review, and John Mulaney was the writer that would write those sketches for him.
Yes.
And never let him know what he was changing it to before he came out.
Right. Okay. Number 4, Richard Pryor, guest hosted once in 1965.
No. Oh, so we're gonna miss some of the.
I think we're gonna miss. Oh, this one's weird. Number 3, Melissa McCarthy.
No.
Guest hosted in 11, 13, 14, 16, and 17.
No, she's fine, but no. Yeah. She was better when she popped in.
Right.
As who was she? Who did they have her as? One of the presidential candidates, and she was on the Segway.
Okay.
But those were like the guest spots, not like the
right.
Oh, was it Elizabeth Warren she played? Maybe, I don't remember.
This gentleman at number 2 hosted in 85, 88, 88 again, 90, 90 again, 92, 96, 2006, 2016, and 2020. Mr. Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he should be up there.
Yeah, he should be close to number 1.
So he's number 2?
He's number 2.
Okay.
Now, do you think they have the balls to put Baldwin at 1?
So let me tell you the one that they're missing worse than anything right now is Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
who has some of my favorite sketches on that show ever, and Will Ferrell when he would come back.
Yep. On this list, guest host number 1, Steve Martin. 76,
I agree with that.
77 twice, 78 twice, 3 times, 79, 80, 86, 87, 89, 91, 94, 06, 09, and 2022. Yeah, I absolutely.
Yeah, and Johansson's missing from the list too.
There's a lot of people missing from that list.
Yeah, don't love it. Don't love it. No. But yeah, congrats to them on 50 years. That's awesome.
Yeah, that wasn't a great one. I'm gonna give you a couple of little newsy things fast. Remember Kevin Costner's, and then we'll do all your watchies. Remember Kevin Costner's Horizon: An American Saga?
Yeah,
that came out and grossed $38.7 million against a $100 million budget.
I do remember.
It is now one of Netflix's top 10 in its first week.
Yeah, well, they pushed it.
Amazing what streaming can. Good for Kevin.
Amazing what'll happen when you put it on an app that people actually have.
Yeah. HBO plans to run The Last of Us for 4 seasons.
So they're going to do a 3-season second game.
That's a lot, isn't it?
No, because the second game is massive.
Okay.
I bet you this first part doesn't even get us through the first 4 hours of the game.
Wow.
And when you think it's done, there's oh, well, shit. There's a whole epilogue that's another 6 hours of gameplay.
That's pretty cool.
There's a lot left.
Yes, T, it is Sunday. Upload could possibly come out in April. Its final season 4, or much later than that. They don't really wait for that. It says most likely won't come out until April and maybe release much later than that.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, I just want to see it end. It's been a fun show.
Let's follow Reacher with it.
Yeah.
and free Robbie Amell to do other stuff.
It's been a very fun show. We got news about Dungeons and Dragons. The movie came out and it was decent. Was it decent? Like cutting out.
The movie's great.
The movie's great.
Everybody that's ever seen the movies says it's fantastic and loves it. But it released pandemic-y.
Yeah.
And got brushed to the side and kind of disappeared. But the cast is fantastic to it.
No, I like the cast. I haven't finished the movie.
That's shocking.
It's really shitty. Which is weird because of how much I love Dungeons and Dragons, but there's a new report now that Sean Levy and Drew Ravello and Hasbro are doing a live action series. It's in the works for Netflix, set in the Forgotten Realms. I only hope I'm a huge fan of the Forgotten Realms and the lore. I'm very well versed in all of that fun stuff. There's a bunch of novels out there that deal in the Forgotten Realms, and a friend of mine pointed me to 3 of them back in the 90s. The first one is called The Crystal Shard. They're written by R.A. Salvatore.
And
he
wrote all the Dungeons and Dragons, all the Dragonlance stuff too was him.
No, Dragonlance was Margaret Weiss.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Forgotten Realms. The Cleric Quintet, that was Forgotten Realms.
The Cleric Quintet, there's a ton of novels, but the Crystal Shard and the books that come from RA deal with a dark elf character, Drist, which I pray that they incorporate those characters. That's where my first Dungeons and Dragons character name came from. Gimzak comes from reading those books and creating a dwarf character to play tabletop. So I really hope that they do this well.
Yeah, I never had anyone to play Dungeons and Dragons with back in the day. So I played all the PC games, and there was some good comic stretches of Space Jammer, Forgotten Realms, and Dragonlance that they did. They are all short runs. Maybe I think they lasted a year, each one of them. But they got me into kind of those worlds a little bit more the way that I wanted to.
Yeah, for me, they were. Whenever I would, so we had we had one big group of friends, and then when my friend Joe would be the dungeon master, he would create his worlds in a world called Greyhawk. He knew all the lore, and it was a lot more of a grounded game. There wasn't as much magic. He didn't level up a lot. It was fun, and he was a really good storyteller. And then when I would be the dungeon master, I would do the Forgotten Realms. So much magic that you're shitting out +1 swords every time you turn around. Characters leveled up because the higher the level, the more fun the stuff. The way I looked at it,
right?
So, hopefully, they lean into some of the really awesome characters. R.A.
Yeah, we'll see if they bought the name or if they bought the whole mythology.
I hope they get the whole thing. Now let's slide over to what you watched.
So Mythic Quest is back. Frank is caught up on Mythic Quest. The best workplace comedy.
100%.
That I've watched in the last couple weeks. Season 4 of Mythic Quest, for anybody not caught up, is just amazing. It's so well written. The characters are great. I think I was going to talk about a couple of the episodes last week even, so I'd have to look back to those notes. But they're doing some things with, being a tech RPG company, they're doing some things with an AI episode that was fantastic.
Was that the one I texted you that I was like outright laughing out loud during?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one you text me about where they're looking to figure out what to do with their customer service, and people in their playpen, which was created in season 3, which is like a side piece that they kind of Poppy made to like kill time and keep somebody busy, that became this huge game where it's create your own stuff. And people are using it the way that people use Roblox, which not a surprise, right? When you let people create their own content, they end up doing dirty, nasty things in it. So there's a lot of that. Pete, I'm sorry you're disappointed with this season. I'm having a blast with it. But you get Poppy and Ian giving themselves their own AI versions that then they have to deal with themselves as an AI, which is hilarious. And then the ethics committee.
Hilarious.
Going back and forth was a blast. It was great. And then we get the couple episodes since then. I have to figure out where that is. I have so many notes from so many things. Oh, just the Carol and Poppy both sick after their ethics meetings, calling out for the day, and Carol, the HR person's doing some inappropriate things with some of the people in there. But they get this cool warrior for the day out with building swords, and I think I screenshot one of those things from you from David and Ian. Where Ian's like, we're going to build weapons, and David's like, can I build a breastplate?
Yes.
And I was like, that says a lot about you, that you just like to take a beating all the time. It's oh my God, it's so good.
It's been what, 2 years between 3 and 4, almost.
Maybe no, I feel like a year and a half. They're much faster than Always Sunny.
Oh God, yeah. Always Sunny's about to do season 17 soon.
18, I think.
18. I'm say 18 behind.
Yeah. Look, I binged that during the pandemic. I binged that at the same time I was binging Super.
Yeah, it was 2 years. 2 years between 3 and 4.
Okay. Well, it's only February 2025 though, so
not bad.
And then the most recent episode was like Murder Mystery Night, which is great, and they keep evolving the characters, and I don't hate any of them because they're not super awful. They actually like seem to do their jobs.
No hate. Okay, check.
Unlike the other show, The Office Place Comedy, that a lot more people saw. That I burned through a bunch of episodes. I'm not going to go deep on any of them because none of them are very good.
We're in season 6 now, right?
Yeah, so I got through Gossip.
Yeah.
Where Michael finds out, I did appreciate this. They were they have summer interns now, and they went on a date to Tinks, the club in Scranton.
Yep.
Which I could reference because I used to. That was actually one of my last shows with my first band was at Tinks. But Stanley at Tinks does not track for me in any way, shape, or form.
No, I've never been to Tinks.
So Tinks was like a Maui or a lagoon.
Gotcha.
Like a massive warehouse-style nightclub with multiple rooms of bands and DJs and everything you could think of, like wild. So I do not buy Stanley setting foot in that place, even to go have affairs and things. But I react like Michael's never heard Gossip in the Office his entire life and goes and runs around and does all the things. Fine. Quotes from the real world to Stanley, which I thought was clever for a minute when he goes, "Hey, it's time to stop being nice and start being real." I was like, "Oh my God, you can't." You get all the rumors, and Jim and Pam try and cover it up by saying that they were pregnant was the rumor that was true that nobody knew, and then you get at the end where Michael,
they're being good people trying to help Stanley.
Yeah. Sure. And then Michael ruins it and makes Stanley get a divorce because Michael's dumb. And then he gets his car trashed. Then we got the meeting. Michael's having the colonoscopy. Decides to ask Oscar for advice because Oscar, I was like, oh, that you're going there. Okay. Yep. So apparently in 2009, it was still okay to make fun of that.
Yes.
In that way.
Okay.
So cool. Then I have some notes here about Jim and David had their one-on-one. Maybe David will finally realize that Jim is awful as an employee. But no. Somehow, even though Jim has an awful performance review that's sitting there and has never done anything, it seems.
Now wait, didn't we learn about the Office review and what the root cause of that was?
Yes and no. Yeah, with Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never changed it, so
apparently not. That I was a little shocked at.
So they absorbed all these Buffalo clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
but not a single employee to cover them. Even though they just had to get rid of a salesperson because they had too many salespeople for their number of clients. Then they grew a bunch of clients, but no people to service them.
It's a company that's dying.
Sure. And then they were going to put Michael in charge of Northeast sales, which makes no sense because David hates Michael. So I don't understand at any point why. Huh?
Or does he?
Yeah. How could he not? I mean, he's. I don't get it. Like they're that piece with it now. So instead, now there's 2 branch managers, or just Jim leaves. That would be great if Jim just left.
Your co-manager.
Yeah,
co-manager.
Awful idea. That I still don't understand why Jim would be in that job at all. Or wants it or anything, or why they would say, Jim, because you asked for promotion, we're going to give you a huge promotion and more money to do this job. I don't know when they built a second office that all of a sudden they have for Jim. That was interesting.
Oh, no, that office was always there.
Was it? I don't remember ever seeing it on the show.
Oh, no, it's always there. Yeah. Just like like the conference room where the table's there, the table's not there, the table's there, the table's not there.
So I don't have a lot of notes on that episode. My notes are when did they get a second office for Jim, and then he's still a dick and an awful employee because he's using his power to be a dick to all of his employees.
Wait, it's better.
And the fact that Pam is allowed to work for Jim is more than an HR issue.
Wow.
Which I'm hoping comes around at some point. But yeah, that doesn't work. And then they get their bonuses, right? Michael and Jim have to come to an agreement. Jim realizes that Michael's an awful boss still, but might have a reason for being the way that he is because being a boss sucks and Jim's unqualified for the job they gave him because he's an awful employee.
We should make a pro and con list about this.
Yeah, well, the cons are Jim and Pam. Because then we get to the Niagara Falls episodes and the wedding.
Double episode.
Yeah. Could have been 3 minutes long. We get, as you said before, Dwight being the ladies' man. Great, good for him. We still get Pam still being just a horrible person, saying everybody needs to have nicer smells and calls everybody out for why they don't smell good in the office.
Was that the beginning with the hard-boiled eggs?
Yes.
Okay.
And the eggs, and then she throws up. Then everybody in the office throws up except for Creed and Dwight that are still just going and eating, which is is a clever scene. Michael decorates his own car to go to the wedding.
Yeah.
Which tracks for Michael. Dwight was searching all the women for Michael. Nothing great there. Michael didn't book a room, so he has to sleep with Dwight. Whatever.
The little game that Dwight plays on him to show what an asshole Michael is.
Yeah, when Michael was like, "No, you can't share my room with me, Dwight. Now that you gave it to me," Dwight goes, "Okay, well, how about this?" And and that's good, I guess. Jim gets up. He's the one that's, as Jim's speech. Jim gets up and announces that he's been skeevy and a liar for their entire relationship with Pam, and how he's just biding his time till she broke up and he ruined her last relationship with her fiance.
I love the way you look at it.
It's literally what he announces. He's like, I just stalked her for years until she finally broke and ruined all of her other relationships and became mine. And now she can't drink because she's knocked up out of sin. And Mima very pissed. And Michael goes to console her. Great idea. But then again, we go back to now Jim's out drinking with Dwight and Michael all night, which makes zero sense. Not that his brothers aren't dicks, but like,
that was weird.
Andy's dancing, he tears his balls. Pam's the only one that's sober. That's fine. Jim continues to be a dick by telling everybody that Andy's scrotum was torn off. Instead of just letting but look, it's another dude with that. Like, you got it. There's a little bit of bro code there.
Well, go ahead.
Michael's trying to get Dwight's second sloppy seconds. Which one?
Jim's a sweetheart later in the episode. The romance. Yeah.
Is he romantic? They could have just not invited everybody up to the wedding.
Well,
and instead just, gotten married one of the 4 times they had chances to before.
You didn't think it was romantic making everybody sit and wait in a church while they went off on a boat cruise?
No. Is his plan C? Because he knew that plan A and plan B were going to be wrecked by the people in the office they decided they had to invite to their wedding. Like, it just seems like a huge waste of money. Like, knowing what weddings cost, like, okay, great. And then I burned through that. The Kevin shoes thing was funny.
Yeah, and the Kevin hair.
The tea boxes, they're using the tissue boxes.
His hair was awesome.
Putting his feet in the ice machine was possibly one of the grossest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, and then Michael leaving with Pam's mom. So, good for him.
Oh,
She's a catch.
Yep.
And then there's the Mafia episode, which was fine. I guess this was capitalized on The Sopranos.
It had to have been. It was
for around then
2009. So
yeah, not great. Kevin, they're out of town, right? Jim and Pam, because Kevin went in there to constantly break wind and then ended up staying and answering the phone and stealing Jim's identity while they were on vacation. And yeah, look, not great. And again, Dwight and Andy are still friends, even though they were enemies again. But now they're back to being buddies, and they're helping Michael. And yeah, not a lot of notes on that one because it wasn't very good.
There's no.
So that's where we're at in The Office. And then I stopped because it was like, that's a lot of episodes of The Office to talk about.
Yeah, it is.
And there's only so much of Jim being a dick that I can handle every week.
I completely understand it. Plus, we have another awesome show to talk about.
We do.
Unless there's anything else you watched aside from that.
No, I think I hit all the things. Since I'm gonna do Spider-Man, yeah, Yellow Jacks was fine. Yeah, no, we have to strike first.
Okay.
Now and strike.
I'm gonna give my thoughts on this before you totally ruin everything that I'm saying. Because why do
you think I would do that, Frank?
Should I go back and look at my text messages? or the chat with Dom? Look.
Oh my God.
Cobra Kai, if you have not seen the last couple of episodes, we're going to talk about the final 5 episodes of Cobra Kai.
For me, it was like 4.
First red YouTube Red show that went to Netflix and just took off.
It was wonderful on YouTube Red.
I found after the second of these 5 episodes, I just flushed reality down the toilet from me. Okay. At that point, just wanted to see where they were going to take the show. And by episode 3, oh, good. See, I was ramping because I wasn't sure if T had caught up or not.
All right. See you, T.
See you, T. I knew how the show was going to end, and I really didn't hate it. I loved the cheesy Rocky training montage, like the just stolen from Rocky 3 training montage. Loved every second of it. The Mr. Miyagi CGI was so bad.
Oh my God! I said that to my kid when we were watching it. I was like, "That's the worst CGI I've ever seen."
It made Grand Moff Tarkin look good.
I think they could have just used, and that I feel like their model for that was the referee that they brought back from the first Karate Kid.
Yeah. So that was bad. The CGI in that moment was bad. I absolutely loved the overall ending. It started with Johnny and Miguel, and it ended with Johnny and Miguel, and Daniel and the Black Gi, and Cobra Kai. It is a Cobra Kai story. To not have Miyagi-Do win the whole thing was what made me happy. Because if Miyagi-Do wins the whole thing, then I'm like, oh, come on. But to have Cobra Kai win, now granted, the reality of Johnny beating that sensei is 0.000%. Okay.
Look, the reality of any of the 3 people that won that tournament winning their matches is 0.
Let me backtrack. The Kreese and Johnny scene was really cool. It was nice to see that closure. Okay. I get they were going for the happy ending, and that's where you were going to go. The Terry and Kreese boat scene was terrible. Awful.
I like the fact that the stuntmen didn't even have the same hair color.
No.
That they used in there. Because let's be honest, Martin Cove's like 80 years old.
Yeah.
He's not fighting.
Right.
But yeah, and every time they would cut and you see the back of his head, I was like, well, that's a totally different dude.
Yeah.
They didn't even bother with a wig. It's not like he has like hard to do hair. It's just bleached hair.
That part was bad. There's no way Tori beats that girl. Zara, who in real life is like a 13-time Taekwondo champion. Like, she's a legit badass.
Right. Like, Tori, who I don't know how anybody was allowed to be in Cobra Kai because Cobra Kai wasn't in the tournament.
Well,
and they can just make up senseis as they go.
Right.
Kreese, let's not forget, this was in the Valley in the U.S., where Kreese is a wanted felon who escaped from prison.
Where he's sitting in the audience watching.
And they were trying to interview him, not mentioning, and by the way, John Kreese is wanted by every law enforcement agency in the country. I was like, maybe Spain didn't have an extradition plan, so like they couldn't get him in Spain and Barcelona?
I don't know. I maybe. Again, suspend reality to get to the end, right? Cobra Kai comes back. Cobra Kai wins both of their matches. And then Johnny has to fight. And you knew there was no way that they were going to have Johnny lose. Daniel doing a version of the speech that Johnny got in their 84 fight was nice. It was just a nice whole full circle. It was like Ted Lasso. It was a very happy ending for everyone. Johnny has a baby. Terry Silver's dead. Kreese is dead, which is just it's just
Johnny has a baby that 6 hours later is at a karate tournament after being born.
Right. Well, he's got headset. She's got headset on. She's fine. She's got a headset.
Yeah, that you don't get out of the hospital that fast.
Yeah, you could. My ex had our son at Walmart later the day after.
Yeah, no, not anymore though.
No.
That was a long time ago.
I did really, and I'm going to touch on stuff that Dom's saying in a second. I like the fight scenes. The Robbie fight scene was a little weak, but the Miguel one, like Dom's saying, was really, really, really good. I just enjoyed the whole full circle moment, and they kept calling the show Cobra Kai, and for like at least 2.5 seasons, it was a Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang show. And now finally you get back to, however you get there, you get back to Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai wins in the Valley. The guy that got kicked in the face, the MC, didn't sue the other guy for assault and battery, and just took the microphone and did his announcement.
Yep.
Let me hear what you thought, and then we'll touch on what Dom's saying.
Look, I just wanted to finish this goddamn show. These last 15 episodes could have been a 2-hour movie and would have been so much better.
Yep.
But like they dragged it out so bad these last 5 episodes where it was like, all right, it's been a month. Okay, great. Nobody's over anything. Cool. Kids are all, let's remember again, all of these kids are like still actively in high school and applying to like elite universities.
Yes.
And all getting in but have time to train for karate and fly all over the world and go to tournaments and yeah. Okay, sure. That's fine. And let's also not forget that Terry Silver, also escaped felon, doing whatever he wants all the time.
Well, when you have money.
Sure.
Rules don't apply in the Valley.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, but we thought that what's her name was giving birth like during the tournament, and now it's been like 2 months.
Yeah.
It's still no baby. Okay, that's not how babies work, but cool. Then there's the Kreese and Yoon going at it and killing her grandfather and all. I was like, okay, so now you run Cobra Kai,
right? But they don't. But she
Kreese left,
stayed.
but Kreese still runs Cobra Kai for the Sakai Takai, even though, again, felon, dealing with high school kids. And Tori, who hasn't had trained her, isn't part of a dojo anymore, still the one represent. Okay. Look, as you said, as long as you suspended all of your disbelief, which again, it's a fantasy show. Nothing about it's realistic at all at this point. And Terry's dying of cancer, blah, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And again, Kreese just is in Japan and then decides to go back to the US because that's super easy to just fly wherever you want in the world.
Sure it is. When you're ex-special forces, you can do whatever you want. You got contacts.
Somehow Daniel's only on his 18th anniversary with the car dealer. And the tournament's back on because everybody wants it. Sam still, I don't buy it for a minute that she can actually do karate.
If there was one character that I did not like the entire series, Sam may have taken the cake. Yeah. I feel like Sam to me is like Jim is to you.
Yeah. Look, and then all right. So the Sakai Takai is going to be in the Valley. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easier to fly all of these other people into Southern California and spend all that money versus flying anybody else, right?
Well, they blew their budget going to Barcelona the year before, earlier. So now they have
right. And the Valley tournament, the big Valley tournament, has a board of like 15 people. Okay, cool.
Right. Wasn't Daniel on that board?
He was, but not anymore, apparently. I mean, my notes for that were like, huge board for the tournament. Gunther kicks the guy in the face to be the announcer. What the fuck is going on? Like that's where my notes were for that part. I'm like, well, I don't even understand. Chosen's still just hanging out in California for whatever reason, getting drunk, trying to get with Elizabeth Berkley.
Hey.
I don't blame him. Look, good for you. Johnny's still trying to throw tire irons into the diaper bag to take him to fix a tire on the freeway when it breaks down because he still doesn't know that there's technology around. Tori quit and somehow is still a minor, and doesn't she have a younger sibling?
Yes.
That she's raising and nobody's watching either one of them. She just has an apartment and is paying for everything. And okay, cool.
Do you know who Gunther? Do you know who else Gunther played?
No. Who else did Gunther play?
Gunther was the bad guy coach in one of the Mighty Ducks movies from like Norway or whatever. Never
seen those.
What?
No.
Oh, that's next.
Is it?
Yes. Anyway, keep going.
Can't wait to hate Emilio Estevez like I do Jim Halpert. So then we make the decision that let's drive up to wine country and get hammered. Because that's not close.
No, that's an odd choice.
But cool. And then they just call their friend to randomly drive to wine country. All right, cool. And then they all go, all right, so, and then we get Johnny, who gets yelled at by his future mother-in-law. Right? Because he hasn't proposed. So
that's fair.
So here's this episode's montage. Is Johnny trying to figure out how to propose. He goes, can't figure out flowers. And where he would get flowers from, so goes to steal them.
Right.
Because he can't afford flowers apparently, but has money to sign up for a cooking class.
Correct.
And go to get a suit tailored and hire a string quartet.
Right.
But flowers are too much to figure out.
Yes.
On the internet.
Right. He is internet challenged. We know this.
Great. So instead the baby's coming. Cool. They get married there with his old buddy that's the priest.
That was nice.
And by the end of the episode, all of the kids are now best friends again and everybody's made up.
Listen.
Look, they played Silent Lucidity, so that was a win. Getting the Queen's right to close out the episode, I appreciated that. But now we're where you have suspended your disbelief. We're at episode 3.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because while they're doing that, Tori and what's her name are fighting and making besties, and Robbie and Miguel are all good.
Look, they had a cast of a lot of people to stand around and do a lot of nothing this last 6 episodes.
Yeah, all of the stars of Barcelona, they didn't feel like writing into the last 5 episodes because they, again, were cramming. Well, they stretched the hell out of this. This was like a 1-episode finale that they stretched into 5 episodes.
They did. They definitely stretched.
Because there was a training montage every like 20 minutes.
They were, yeah.
But now ESPN's covering the Sakai Takai. Last time it was just on its own website. Now ESPN's got it. And we got Kevin Burkhardt who announced the Super Bowl. Announced the Sakai. And again, they're like, yeah, like, has Tori even talked to anybody running Cobra Kai? Like Yoon? Like, does anybody?
No.
Right?
Well,
they're watching the tournament on TV. This was what drove me nuts about this episode, right? So they're the only thing. I swear. I might be lying. So they're watching this tournament coverage on ESPN in all of their apartments.
Yes.
Right, in all of their houses. And they're like, the tournament starts in the next hour. And they're all sitting at home.
Right.
What?
And then they all get up and run to the tournament. It's the Valley.
Yeah.
The Valley's like 4 blocks long, apparently.
Yeah, but like they're showing everybody else is there and like doing demos and stuff. But Cobra Kai and Miyagi, too good to show up and like be a part of everything. They're just all still chilling at home, driving up in minivans, like 3 minutes before the tournament starts, because that totally makes sense. And this got to where what I hated that they did with Kreese. Kreese didn't deserve a redemption arc. Like he did nothing to be like, let's let Kreese go and get all of this closure. Like there was nothing he did that made him deserve to be a redeemable character.
So parallel to Ted Lasso, Nate kind of went along the same road, but Nate backtracked in enough time for his redemption. Well, okay, Nate started off good.
But Nate was only a dick for like a year.
Right. Kreese's redemption arc was odd. It's an odd choice. And that had to strictly be to just give a happy ending, because there really was no saving grace about Kreese at any point in the Karate Kid franchise at all.
No, especially the show.
Like at least Terry started off evil, kind of tried to they kind of teased a redemption arc and ended up just evil. And that was fine.
Right.
Kreese, I get the moment between Kreese and Johnny, and that's fine. That was nice, but he didn't need a whole full redemption arc. No.
And again, it was completely out of character. Like completely out of character to all of a sudden to be like, oh, well, no, Kreese is a good, like, what are you doing? Right? Like, because one kid died, like he's had other kids die.
I mean, he killed his company commander.
Right. Like it made no sense that they did this stuff with Kreese to try and do this redemption arc. Like, and to have him back, it should have been Yoon came back to the U.S. right, to be like, Tori, we're gonna finish this, and we're gonna redeem the name of Cobra Kai and set this forward. This is how we're gonna do. Like that would have been a better story than. I get we needed the Johnny Kreese closure, I guess.
Right,
but you never really got that even.
Well, the hug and the tears, and that was good for the Johnny Kreese closure. But overall, no. They should have just let Kreese be a dick and die a dick.
I didn't. I could see him. You didn't need to redeem him for him to go mess with Terry on the boat.
No,
like you didn't need one to do the other. It could have been him still stopping Terry from winning, not helping Johnny, but just stopping Terry. Would have tracked.
Before you go towards the end, I'm going to catch up with some of the stuff that Dom's saying. The whole show came full circle, Dom said, and that's the perfect way to end it. First episode of the series was called Ace Degenerate. The last episode of the series was called X Degenerate. Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
Did the first one open with that funeral scene? Was that from the first episode?
I don't remember.
It was finale a long time ago. Back to?
What do you mean? The funeral was
So
the
the
kid that
episode
died.
5, so you get Johnny with the beard and drunk after getting
Oh,
arrested.
yeah. That had to be a flashback. It had
That's
to be a flashback
That's what I
because
was trying to figure out if that was or they shot it new and tried to make it into a flashback from when
maybe.
the series started, right? Then you get the scene, okay, now I proved to my mom. But, like, he didn't talk to his mom the whole show, so it was weird all of a sudden, like, do this weird
Yeah.
cat pull.
One of Dom's complaint was in the Sucky tournament. The Valley had 1 match a day, which is a lot of work for 5-minute fights. True?
1 match a day. Did you see those training montages? There's no way these training montages were a day. Like, these dude, I had notes on that too. I was like, "What is?" All right, so this whole day tournament, this first day, right, for the
Yep.
semifinals, was literally 1 fight,
Yep.
and then everybody left.
Yeah, that's
And
how it
we
seems.
were ignoring the Miyagi being shady stuff.
Well, Miyagi, they think they
They
explained
brought it
why
back in,
Miyagi.
like, 2 episodes later, but they ignored it for the first 4 episodes of this series finale arc. Yeah, that made no sense. Like, everybody loaded in, did the tournament, there's 1 fight, and then we have a break of, like, a week.
The funeral was never in the early seasons, Ed.
Mm.
Um,
So, yeah, so we get that break, right? We get, again, Kreese just hanging out wherever he wants, not getting arrested. And I think I called it halfway through the episode that, great, so we're gonna get Miguel is gonna end up joining Cobra Kai to be there. Okay,
sure.
blah, 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 blah.
It makes sense because that's how it started. That's how Cobra Kai came back was
Yeah.
with Miguel. That
Um,
part of it I'm okay with.
and then we get, like, the I Love LA montage to start episode 4,
Is that
right?
the true?
Because somehow in this one day between when the semifinals happen and we're getting the finals, the next day, Daniel has had time to go lease a building and has time in the morning to drive Johnny out to his old Cobra Kai dojo. And then we get a full
He just froze. Wonder if he lost his internet. Oh, no. Jack just totally froze unless I froze. Nope. Looks like Jack may have frozen mid-rant, which is the best possible time. Yeah. Jack froze mid-rant. So, I'm gonna give him a couple seconds to come back. Yeah. His power kicked. We're gonna give Netflix cut Jack off. Um, I'm gonna I understand his criticisms, but I personally, I really liked it. Um, Netflix. I really liked the end. I'm all for happy endings. I got it. I dug it. I dug everything that you're saying, Dom. I got it. The first 10 episodes of season 6 felt like a big setup for Johnny getting Cobra Kai back. They could have knocked it out in less than 15 episodes, and released them all at the same time. Yeah, I think they were just trying to drum up viewership as why they were doing it in batches like that. I I hate when shows do that. If you have them all, just put them all out there. Um, the redemption for Kreese started when Silver beat up Johnny and told him that Johnny was his weakness, and then the death of Quan pushed it over. Yeah, I understand it. I said the same thing, Dom. The last 3 episodes were really good. I thought they were. Um, Jack has a widely different views, and that's one of the reasons I love doing this show at him. We definitely don't agree on things a lot, and when we do, it's more fun. So, that being said, as I am waiting for Jack still, I will quickly say I saw Captain America um, over the weekend. My initial viewing, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I'm not going to talk any spoilers. I'm not going to talk any plot points, but I watched it again on a copy. Uh, I watched it again. Hold on, here. Sorry, I'm Jack's texting me. I watched it again and ended up giving it a 6. There we go. There we go.
Hey, I made it back.
I'll pause my Captain America.
That's right. So that's
Dom said Netflix stopped you.
yeah, exactly. Well, looking at my my news feed right here, it says nearly 300 flights were delayed, and Pico reported power outages affecting 130,000 customers due to the high winds going on.
Excellent. Excellent.
Um, So sorry. Quick power flash here. If you guys were getting into Captain America, I
Not
apologize.
getting into it. Just I gave my score. Dom gave his score, and I'm not talking spoilers. I watched it a second time on a
What?
different way.
Good
and
for you.
Bumped my score up a
little.
But yeah, you were saying you were right in mid rant.
Yeah, I know. I don't even remember which part I was ranting
about. We were near the end.
Oh, it was
Miguel.
the training, all the training stuff where they go, and now all these kids are back training at Cobra Kai for God knows how long. The whole crew's there.
Yep. Everybody's helping.
That's
a good question.
No.
Nothing?
No, because I didn't get to watch Louis Tan be Louis Tan, so that sucked. I would have loved to get to actually watch him be a badass, because like they set him up as like this killer character, and then he wants to beat you, so he can. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's because he didn't strike first.
So, but like it feels like these long breaks are like right, like Wolf just breaks his students' arms randomly to like teach actual lesson. Like what is going on? And then Axel's like, well, I really love Sam because we walked on a beach for 3 minutes that one time. So I'm going to throw it all away for her and realize that, all this training my entire life was not worth any of it. Okay. But it feels like it's not like day to day to day with these training montages. I'm like, they just keep flying all these people internationally like every couple days. Is that what the story is here? Because I know like sending a kid to like Nashville for 4 days is like $2,000. So like, yeah, not great. Yeah. And then Sam's teaching Tori the drum technique, but then that doesn't come back. And then Tori tells the LaRussos that they're like the parents, they're the only family she's ever had, and always forgive her because apparently they're both good people, even though we spent so much time on this series making Daniel into a complete douche. And Miguel's making the card for Sam, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, Zara gets in Tori's head. Robbie loves Tori. It's okay. They kiss, and then Tori's awesome again because love conquers all.
There you go.
So now Tori's the best in the world because Robbie kissed her on camera, so it's great. Not really like a redemption arc for Tori. Which is weird.
I think she kind of got her redemption arc earlier in the season with Sam. Like they kind of even things out, and they she went to Cobra Kai because she thought she should be the number one person, and it kind of made sense because they didn't have any girls over there. It was all guys, so they needed a girl, and
because they didn't know they were entering the Sakai Takai apparently.
Yeah. Then the only other girl that could have gone over was the only other girl in Cobra Kai who they just tried to make her a badass and then pushed her all the way in the back, and then you never heard from her again.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then they're like a short intermission after Tori's fight, which I would assume is like 2 weeks.
That was like 10 minutes.
It's short.
One day.
And Miguel, is giving his card to Sam, but finds she's going to Okinawa. Oh no.
Dun.
Oh yeah, they had Daniel's cousin in the one episode that's like the only person that's not an idiot on this entire show. Back when it was like, Sam hates all of this UCLA stuff and doesn't want to be near you guys.
Oh, that's his daughter.
Who?
That's Ralph's daughter, I believe.
Well, yeah, I mean that I know, but Daniel's cousin.
Yeah.
And then Miguel's distracted, but whatever. And then he goes and he can beat Axel because they had that weird AI.
But Axel changed it up.
The meta quest that they used to train for whatever reason.
I mean,
I didn't even take notes on that part because it was dumb.
That was cool.
Axel was told to go through his spine, but said, I can beat him without. Okay, great. And doesn't. And then Axel just quits everything.
You're not wrong.
Right now everything's a tie because Axel quit and got beat by Miguel because he's a little punk. Then they show their baby that's there at the tournament, who's like a year and a half old.
Look,
that was a massive baby.
The AI training thing was really only to give those two guys something to do and to remind you that they're computer nerds. There was nothing else for them to do. They were trying to force, they built this big cast up and then had nothing for them to do, knowing that only 4 people are really going to be the focus of the last couple episodes. So they're just trying to, it was really weird. Yes.
But like we just ignored Kenny, that we flew Kenny to Spain for no reason and back.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Lost their son. He wasn't in it again until the finale for like a half a second. But
Yeah.
you bring back Penis Breath and the other guy just to chew nachos loud. I'm like, okay, great. You got them on camera. They got to say a line. They got their union check. And you get the shady guys going after Johnny's family, proving Silver's still bad, right? Then Kreese kills him. Doesn't care about killing that guy. Whatever. That's fine, right? And then we just assume that they're both gone.
Well,
yeah, Dom saying Kenny was in the training montage. Every character was in the training montage. They brought them all back for 2 days. One to film the final tournament in the Sekai Takai, and then for the training where they all have to come in and fight and watch Miguel and Tori do their thing. And then we get another training montage for Johnny, which again, that was not like a 1-day training montage, even though they made out like that was a long day. I'm like, that was like months of training.
No, that was a couple of days at least.
I saw the meme, Dom. Season 7 coming soon with Kreese pulling a Chuck Norris out of the water.
Hey man, you never know.
And then we wrap up everybody's stuff super easy, right? Daniel's mother gets to redeem Miyagi. Miguel somehow is brilliant and gets accepted into Stanford. Not a cheap school one, with Johnny, who doesn't have a job still, really. I guess he kind of does with the dojo, but I don't know. And his mom kind of has money, but like Stanford's $62,000 a year in just tuition.
Maybe he got grants.
Maybe. I feel like running a dojo, you're going to be in that tax bracket where you don't get shit. And then so Miyagi's fine. We redeem him in a 5-second story from Daniel's mom.
Yep.
Nothing was wrong with that. That was a complete waste of our time for like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I'm a little upset about that.
I wasn't. Don't worry, Dom. I'll hit that. Then Tori and Robbie. Oh, now they're both media stars because Icon Media wants to sign them, and Tori's the Tooth Fairy because she knocked out a tooth. Great. Dimitri gets his girlfriend back and goes to bang her instead of watching his sensei in his big final battle.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Good job, Dimitri.
Teenager.
Yep. Then Wolf tells Johnny that he understands what a huge deal this fight is because, Johnny was in the All Valley tournament 35 years ago, which is the same as an internationally broadcast karate tournament that has international stakes. Same thing.
Yep.
Right? So great, good. Now we're back to All Valley rules because why not? And Cobra Kai, super famous dojo from the way they're announcing it. Like everybody knows Cobra Kai's now. Like, do they?
Everybody in the valley.
Sure. And then Daniel's wearing the black gi, which his wife finds hot for whatever. And Johnny's afraid, and Chosen's also his sensei.
Of course.
Along with Daniel, and they get all the timeouts that they want. Johnny goes down 2-0. He gets the Rocky speech.
Yeah, they had 2 times. He didn't just get the Rocky speech. He got the Daniel version of the Kreese speech.
Yeah, no, look, that was a nice callback. I get it. But Daniel gives Johnny that speech. Suddenly, Wolf forgets how to fight completely.
Right, and Johnny learns. Oh,
right. Meanwhile, let's remember when we were introduced to Wolf.
Do you remember? Well, yeah. Do you remember, or did you not think that the whole fight was going to end with a crane kick? Would that have made you more angry?
I mean, look, he's already said he was going to do the roundhouse and do that, so I was like, all right. No, but I expected Tori to win with the drum technique.
Yeah, me too. They spent a little bit of time on the drum. Dom, I this will get clipped and reposted.
Great. So Johnny wins. Right. Cobra Kai is now the world's #1 dojo. And they raise the trophy together. I will say that listening to Sweet Child of Mine at the minute at 1.25, which is what I watched the last episode on Netflix, reminded me of how the Rockets sound. There's little Foster just going. Just
Wow.
going, moving on, getting to the next tune.
Wow.
Wow. And then, and we get the last little piece here. Johnny can all of a sudden afford a house. He has all the money, but he doesn't know what a property tax bill is.
Well, he may have won some. He may have won some money in the psyche.
He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what? Karate's back. I'm like, is it okay? Miguel gives Sam a sigh for whatever reason. I'm like, okay.
Well, because that was her weapon. That was
it?
Yeah, when she did when they did that one moment where they all did weapon things, hers were the size.
Oh, I forgot. I blocked out most of that half of the season.
I think.
Chosen goes back to get with Yoon.
Yep.
Cool. Who's now starting a new branch, but I don't know what her dojo is called because she doesn't have Cobra Kai anymore. That was just given to Johnny, even though it's been in her family for generations. Cool.
Yeah,
cool. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because that's how business names work and legacies. Sam's brother shows back up. We get that, like I said before, right? I've all of a sudden Miguel can afford a flight to Okinawa, has somewhere to stay. Sam doesn't have an itinerary because she's going to an abroad program, right? They get all the free time so they can explore Okinawa together for the first couple weeks. That totally tracks.
Sure.
And he's clearly valuable enough to Stanford that he can defer Stanford somehow.
He's the Sakai Taikai tournament champion, so he can
they don't know what that is. They're not in the valley.
They do now. It's international.
Sure. And now they're teaching Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was in his contract to bring back Paul Walter Hauser, but we brought back Stingray.
Yeah.
For like a weird...
Yeah, that was weird and pointless.
Comic relief cut to show that he's still a loser, I guess.
Yeah, that was weird and pointless.
We reimagine your strike first, strike hard, no mercy is like, this is what it really means, guys. It's okay to keep the motto, but be nice. But I'm going to be a dick still. But we're going to be nice. But I'm still going to treat all of these kids like trash in 2025 and tell them to lose their glasses because they look like losers and pussies. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we're just showing that Johnny actually had zero growth through the entire show. And that he's the same dick that he was when the show started, right? He's turning into Jim for me. Was not a fan. And that's my notes. Back to the old Johnny. And somehow they had money to redo this whole dojo and relaunch everything, but they couldn't get the bubbles out of the wall and the paint in the wall.
I swear to God, I noticed the bubbles in the paint, and really in the back of my mind, I was like, I wonder if he's going to mention the bubbles in the paint.
Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
They were running out of money.
Sure. Daniel's got all the money though. He's just buying everything.
No, Netflix was running out of money.
Dude. And then we get the totally wasted end credit scene. With the fly in the restaurant.
Oh, that yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what we just did. Like, you didn't set up the movie. You didn't nothing. Come on.
I think that the movie setup was subtle, if I'm right, and it was more or less when his wife said to him, Daniel,
"You'll always be a sensei.
You'll always be a sensei," and I think that is the only. And Dom asked earlier if you think that any of the Cobra Kai cast is going to show up in the movie. I don't think so. I think you'll get passing mentions of them. I think you'll get maybe pictures or like a flashback of Johnny or something, but I don't think you're going to see any of them. I think they want to kind of move away from that, and they want to start a whole new
God, I hope so.
thing.
Maybe we'll get Sam. I mean, here's the thing though, right? Like, it's a movie. So no, you're not going to get anybody from the show because there's not a single movie star on this show except for maybe Yolo. But we'll see.
William Zabka could be a movie star.
No, he had his time. And just one of the guys ruined him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He was great on How I Met Your Mother.
He was. On TV.
Well, shit. I think that last 20, 25 minutes was the best yet.
Yeah, it'll only get better as we review. Peyton List is popular. All right. But on TV.
And Netflix. Again, she does Netflix stuff.
Yeah, no, her new show's on
is it a show?
Spirits? Isn't that on Paramount?
Maybe.
But anyway, yeah, so thanks for finding the Geek Spot, everybody, and listening to
if you guys think this was a fun rant, Wait until we do Captain America.
And you can hear me rant against my kids sometime in the next week or so too, and we drop our review of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that we're gonna do.
Wait. I can't wait for that.
Where I will explain that I don't understand what we're doing there, and he will tell you that it's still fine. Possibly, or maybe we'll have different opinions. Who knows? We'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, and you can find me, jackkidmusic.com. You can find Frank over on the Instagram at Gimzak. And
Iron Dragon showing up in a movie would be great.
And we'll see you later on this week when we talk about that Brave New World a little more in depth.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.